AITAH for preemptively striking against splitting the bill at a group dinner? Title says it all. But here's the story. I was invited to a group dinner and decided to go. I usually decline because two couples in this group are freeloaders and the split the check type. They order expensive items on the menu, appetizers and cocktails, while I get a moderately priced dish and a Coke. I was told they wouldn't be there this time, and that's why I decided to go. Well, they were there. I didn't bother asking what the story was, because it didn't matter. I knew what was gonna happen come check time. So I excused myself, went to flag down my server and asked if he would please separate my bill from the others. He agreed. When time came to pay the bill, I handed the server my CC and paid my bill. I tipped 25%. The freeloaders went, "Oh, I thought we were splitting like we always do." To which I said, "Oh, well, you're bad." But this prompted two other people in the group to ask for separate checks too, which the server happily did. After I paid, I told everyone good night and went on my way. The next day I got a text from another person in the group. 9 total. The 2 freeloading couples and 5 solos. That I was an AH for doing that. They do normally split the bill, as it gives everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. And it also makes splitting the 20% group gratuity easier. I told her I would not be guilted to staying within my means and not paying for moochers. Then I said the only reason why I came was because I thought the mooch couples wouldn't be there, because they've been doing this for years. Still, I'm being accused of disrupting the group vibe. Did I? I would think not, because of the 2 that also asked for separate bills. NTA. I'm sorry. I always assumed we were getting together to socialize as friends, not subsidize meals for other people that cost more than what I have budgeted for myself. If that is the group vibe, then I hereby opt out of the group. The fact that others followed your lead in requesting separate checks shows you are not the only person who feels this way. They were just looking for someone else to be brave enough to do it first. If I were you, I would contact those 2 and start a new Dutch dinner group. NTA. It gives everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. What in the hell is this BS? Splitting the bill should happen when everyone agrees and/or when the portions are more or less equal. It's not to subsidize others. What you did was a great way to handle this and a great way to set the tone. NTA. It gives everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. That's not how math works. Splitting the bill because otherwise you couldn't afford your nice meal means someone is subsidizing your nice meal. There's literally no way this could give everyone a chance at saving money on their meal. NTA. Whenever my husband and I go out to eat, he always tells the server prior to even getting drinks that him and I will be on one bill, just so that from the get-go it's clear that we're covering just for ourselves, and also not covering for our known moocher friend. Lol. I wouldn't have even told your server in private. Next time, say it off the bat that you'll be on one bill and the server will automatically separate it from the rest. NTA. And the group vibe you're disrupting seems to be, we get to eat like kings on someone else's dime, which needs to die. NTA. I was done splitting the check when I got stuck paying $125 for a Mediterranean salad with chicken and water. I will no longer pay for people's cocktails, appetizers, expensive meals and coffee and dessert when I order a simple dish and drink water. Some people didn't like to, but the other people were glad I spoke up and had my back. The 2 freeloading couples and 5 solos. That I was an AH for doing that. They do normally split the bill, as it gives everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. Lol, no it doesn't. If anything, it gives just some of the people this chance while putting the burden on others to pay for it. NTA. NTA. I don't play that split the bill BS game. I pay for what I order. NTA. I have a friend that our group always pays for because she's a 26-year-old widow with 3 children, and we want her to be able to join us. This, however, was something we all agreed on. In the future, ask for a separate check during the ordering process. If you don't want to create a strife, you can state that it makes things easier if you want to leave early. Which is true. It's one thing to treat friends who are temporarily struggling. That is part of the give and take of genuine friendship. What you are describing is a group of people enabling users at the expense of your budget. NTA. Absolutely. I have been forced to split a restaurant bill where I had only taken a small side salad because I realized that the restaurant was above my pay grade, whilst a freeloader had a starter, a steak, dessert and coffee and avec. At the time I swore to myself, never, never, never again. I was young and stupid. But you live and learn. Good on you for having struck preemptively. NTA. Splitting the bill cannot possibly give everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. That doesn't make mathematical sense. It can certainly mean that some people can have their expensive meals subsidized by people who choose cheaper meals. But you've got to do that by agreement. It's common enough, in my experience, for something like a group of work colleagues eating together to subsidize the junior member, but that's by agreement. It's not something you try and stealth someone into doing. NTA. If the server is willing to split the bill, and you pay your own tip, I don't think there should ever be a problem with people paying their own. If all the dishes are more or less the same price and people are ordering a bottle of wine to share, then it can feel a bit petty to say, I'll pay my share only, but at the same time, it's really exasperating to have budgeted your meal exactly and then to find, nope, you're now just that bit over budget. NTA. Maybe Mr. and Mrs. Moocher could afford more nice meals out if they didn't always order several courses and the most expensive items on the menu. It's not up to you or anyone else in the friend group to subsidize their extras. Order what you can afford, plus tip, and pay your own way. NTA. I hate when people try to split the bill. Telling the server you want separate checks from the get-go before ordering also helps set expectations. The fact that 2 other couples asked for separate bills shows you that you're not the only one who is tired of this. They do normally split the bill, as it gives everyone a chance to have a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford. Yeah, that's not how math works. Some people are having a nice meal they couldn't otherwise afford while others are being forced to pay for that meal. Kudos to you for finally sticking up for yourself. This was actually the perfect solution using your friend's convoluted logic. Some people had nice meals that they could afford. You and the people who opted out of treating the moochers. Some people had exorbitant meals they either couldn't afford or were too cheap to pay for. The moochers. And the last group got to have a nice meal and subsidize the moochers. If the problem is that the moochers can't afford the restaurant, they could order less food or less expensive food, or the group should make the effort to choose a restaurant the moochers can afford. We have friends who like to just split and everyone orders roughly the same price range of meals. And other friends who refuse to split, ironically because they like to order the most expensive items on the menu and say they wouldn't feel comfortable ordering what they wanted if other people were subsidizing their meal. It gives everyone a chance to have a good meal they couldn't otherwise afford. In other words, it gives people a chance to order expensive food for others to pay for. NTA. They are well out of line. The group vibe is the vibe of moochers. NTA. My friends split the bill if all of the totals are close. Otherwise, we get separate checks. It is easy to separate checks. And the server often asks up front of the bill is separate or together. You should group chat everyone and apologize for ruining the vibe by asking for a separate check. Use exactly what the person who contacted you said regarding it being an opportunity for those who could not afford such a meal. And say you do not agree with it, so you will decline future meals where the check is split. Then say you will gladly go out when the checks are separated. Then grab some popcorn for the show. NTA. Two couples in this group are freeloaders and the split the check type. They order expensive items on the menu, appetizers and cocktails, while I get a moderately priced dish and a Coke. Why should you keep funding shameless moochers? NTA. I see what you did there. You let the moochers run up their bill, then stuck them with it. But from now on, ask for the separate check immediately and in front of them. Let them know you won't be taken advantage of ever again. NTA. Good move on your part. No one should have to pay for freeloaders. That gets old and tired real quick.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AITAH is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.